Hi guys, it's Mrs. Murphy from the Upton Town Library, and for today's preschool storytime craft, we're going to be making a pencil using some paints, some construction paper, and our creativity. So, a few things you'll need for today's craft. You will need a picture of a pencil. Now, you can either take a white paper and draw a picture of a pencil for your kids, or we have the pencil template along with a whole sheet of erasers on our event calendar for September 3rd. They're listed as a PDF, so you can download these and print them out. So you'll have those ready to go. Or you could just draw them on a piece of paper, whatever works for your family. We're always able to print out things like that here at the library for you, free of charge if they're part of a storytime craft. So just feel free to contact me and we can do that and leave them out on the curbside pickup table for you during one of our curbside pickup days. So once you have your pages printed, you'll also need a few things. You need things like scissors, a glue stick, and I like these Elmer's glue sticks that have the purple glue inside. It helps kids to see where they're placing the glue a little bit better, and they dry clear. You'll need a paintbrush, so it's up to you what you want to use. You can use a small, thin one if you want this to take a lot longer for your kids to do and kind of fill some time, or just these chubby ones, which are great for small hands. You'll need some markers. So the color marker I'm going to use today is this one, and it is called Tan, but anything works. So markers, crayons are fine too, whatever you like coloring with. That is going to be for this part of the pencil that is sharpened. And for the eraser, you can either print it out on colored paper like I did. I used pink, or you can have your kids just color that little eraser bit pink or even red or whatever color you want the eraser to be, and then we can cut that out after. And yellow paint. So I've got a little container of yellow paint here. If you don't have paint at home, which I always recommend a whole supply of arts and crafts materials, we'll talk about that, but you can always make paint from things like school glue and a little yellow food coloring. That works in a pinch. I like to have watercolor paints on hand at home, as well as a whole basket of materials for your kids. So you can have watercolor paints. I didn't put those in here, but those are good to have too. Markers, crayons that work best for your kids, whether it's the really jumbo ones, the triangular ones that kind of help your kids learn a good pencil grip, or the old-fashioned small ones for the older elementary kids. Things like scissors, whether they're this kind or the really sharp pointed kind, or safety scissors, whatever your kids are ready for. Pencils, pens. I also have a hole punch in here. That takes a lot of muscles to do that, so that's always a good thing to just practice to strengthen muscles. And glue sticks. So I like to have a glue stick and some white glue in my arts and crafts kit. And this is just a little container from the dollar store. So be sure to have a nice set of arts and crafts materials for your kids for the year, and replenish it when necessary. So let's get started. I already have my pencil here and my eraser, so I'm going to start by cutting those out. And when we cut, we put 3 fingers in the larger hole, 1 thumb in the thumb hole. Our pinky is kind of a support, and we cut. I like to start with the straight lines, and I like to go right off the page. Cutting is hard for your kids. Take turns. You do a side, you do the longer sides, they do the shorter sides maybe. Cutting in a straight line is always easier for kids than going in a curved line. There's my pencil. And I'm going to cut my eraser at the same time. Now you can always make this whole craft and then cut it after it's dry. It really doesn't matter. I'm working on newspaper today, so I'm doing all my cutting ahead of time, but it's really up to you. So if you want to make the entire craft like this, you can do that, or you can make it already cut out. Whatever, doesn't really matter. So now the fun part, where you get to decorate. So I'm going to take my little eraser and my glue stick, and I'm going to point my screen down so you can see how we put it together. All right, you can see I've got my old issue of a Town Crier newspaper here. It makes a nice size placemat for me. You can see I've been doing a little crafting this morning. I've got yellow paint. So here's my glue stick, twist it up just a little, not too much, and I like to rub, rub, rub. Just reminding the kids to rub, 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 push hard, cover, and you can see how that purple shows up nicely for them. Put it right on the end, and of course, I'm going to twist my glue stick back down, put the cover on top. Part of doing arts and crafts is the cleaning up part as well. So I'm going to find that tan marker from earlier, and I'm going to color in the part where the pencil was sharpened. Crayon works well for this too. If you don't have paints at home, you could always just color the pencil. That works as well. And you don't have to do yellow. I just chose yellow because my favorite kind of pencils are those really great yellow Ticonderoga pencils. But you can make anything. If you want to make a couple and be decorative, that's fine too. Now our paint. So I've got my paint here. And I'm going to use, I'm going to start with the little paintbrush just to show you. I'm going to stir it up a little bit and start filling it in. And you can see I'm holding it up at the top when I'm painting. Dip just a little, we don't need a lot. It's okay to go off the edges because that's why I have newspaper. Paper plates also work well as a palette or an old plastic bowl that you can reuse. Now if I want to use the larger one, I can kind of grip it like a pencil if I want. And back and forth, coloring in all that white space. And I'm going to get a little paint on me, that's okay. Cleanup is for the end. There we go. Make sure I got it all. Wow, that looks fantastic. All right. And here is our finished product, our painted pencil craft. If you made this craft, be sure to send us a picture. We'd love to see any of the projects you do with us. And be sure to check out our social media pages and the rest of our YouTube videos. See you next time, guys. Bye.